my number one from each generation up to the Wii. Beginning with Game & Watch. It's this one. It's in color, actually. And it's called Crab Grab. See, you have these rows of crabs on the top. And I'm this little dude here. And the thing is, you have to push these rows up, and they'll come down from the bottom. And the thing is to clear all the rows without blowing up, I guess. I couldn't even see what I was doing as a mirror, but you get the point. And right now there are only like these crabs on top, but when you advance enough in the game, they'll be all over the screen, and it's freaking chaos. And it's so shiny and shit. For the Game Boy, including the SP and the Game Boy Color, all Game Boy games. I don't have a lot of Game Boy games. Final Fantasy Legend 3 is by far my favorite. This game, for a Game Boy game, is huge. It has an inbuilt save function, which is really rare for such an old game. And it's Final Fantasy. It's a huge game. You have one world, you have an underworld, so basically you have two maps, and the goal is to collect parts of a spaceship, which enables you to fly as well. For a Game Boy game, this game is freaking huge. And yeah, it's a Final Fantasy. The music is great, the story is amazing, and this could have easily been bigger than it was. They could have easily made this on something else than the Game Boy, because the game is just huge. Nintendo Entertainment System. Favorite game? Bionic Commando, of course. They are making a remake of this game right now. First they made a remake for the Xbox, so I have to get myself an Xbox now because this game rules like hell. They're making a part 2, which, thank my soul, that it's coming on PC as well. This game just gives you you can't jump with this game. You have this arm you have used to swing around the stages, and it just gives this amount of freedom, I know. And people these days who are commenting on the trailers of the new Bionic Commando keep bitching about the Spider-Man shit, and Spider-Man maybe before Bionic Commando, but not in the game version. This is like 1980, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. Bionic Commando, by far the best game for NES, in my opinion, of course. Moving up, Super Nintendo, Secret of Evermore, by Squaresoft. Now, yeah, this stupid sticker said that you get this enormous game guide with it, which of course I have. Unfortunately, I have the France version because I have this from the first time I moved to France. It's Squaresoft. It takes you places. You begin at a prehistoric age. You travel through ancient Greece right up to the future, and the atmosphere is incredible in this game. That's what I was looking for. In a game, I look for the atmosphere. That's how I judge games. The atmosphere, it has to suck you in, But yeah, the music as well. The intro tune of this game is freaking amazing. It's an amazing game. Not Nintendo 64. It would have been Majora's Mask, but the problem I had with Majora's Mask is one of my favorite Zeldas, because it's so dark and gloomy and sad, I guess. It's an amazing game. But anyway, it was way too short in my eyes. There were like four dungeons or something. I think they had to cut it short because they didn't have a lot of time, or I don't know, but it was way too short, so that's why this game ranks up first for Nintendo 64, Hybrid Heaven. Basically, you play this guy in some underground facility where they create hybrid monsters and shit, and the story itself is not very original, but the gameplay is so free. You can create your character exactly the way you want him. You can teach him the moves you want him to have for each of his body parts, and you can expand in so many ways, which give you the freedom, not in the levels, but the freedom of choice and the fire that you create, I guess. But I haven't played this game in so long, I might restart it again, I think. You actually required the expansion pack, which is sort of like an upgrade for the graphics to use it. Yeah, 100 home. Now, the GameCube. And this is by far the best game ever created. Baten Kaitos. The first. Eternal Wings and the Lost Ocean. I have the second one. I had to freaking import this, because they never released this in Europe. And I don't care, I love importing games, because that's how you get the shit that doesn't come out anywhere, but I don't get why they didn't release it here, because it's the best game, well, this one is the best game for the GameCube, so I didn't understand why they didn't release it here, because it would have worked. I have really close connections in an anime shop, and it's a game shop as well, and the guy there said, I don't understand, because it would work here. But yeah, the main differences why I prefer the first one is the music is the same in both. Well, it's not the same music, but it's the same style of music. The music is incredible. It's the most beautiful music I've ever heard in a video game. I think I love the first one more. First of all, because of the story. The story is better in the first one. The second one goes deeper, and it has an amazing story as well. It's not a bad game. It's an incredible game, the second one. But the first one ranks out a little bit in the story department. And the battle. The way you fight with cards in some sort of way, but they made it way too easy in the second game. It went all automatically. In this game, you had to think how to fight and shit. And it's the first game in my life. Well, I'm not gonna tell you why. At a certain point in the game, you get fucked over so bad. And I actually sat like half an hour in silence. I was like, what's happening? Best graphics ever. This game, it transports you into another world. With the music, with the graphics. I can't say this without any reason of a doubt that it has the best graphics, including Final Fantasies from PlayStation 2 right up to Final Fantasy X, which is my favorite Final Fantasy all time because of the story as well. But the thing that ranks out the graphics on this one is because it's still motion, I guess. And Final Fantasy, the thing I hate about it when you move is you can see the pixels of the level. You move and you see the pixels move, and I hate that. And Baten Kaitos has that in no way. The second one is called Origins here. In Japanese, it's called something like something, and you have the girls. It had just a weird title as the first one, but the first one was more for adults. I'd say the story was a little bit more intense, but it doesn't change the fact that the second one was amazing as well. That's enough for Baten Kaitos. So the last one up is the Wii, which is Twilight Princess. Now I know that it's actually a GameCube game, which not a lot of people understand. Zelda the Twilight Princess was meant for the GameCube. It's the last game released on GameCube technically, but they put it on Wii because you could see shit in widescreen. I don't really see the point, but of course it makes it more beautiful. And I have the motion shit with the sword and stuff that's added to it, but it's so gloomy. I think that was the word I was looking for before. It is so gloomy. And I've been a Zelda fan for forever. And it was about freaking time they dropped all the cartoon shit and made it back into the serious thing it was. The fans that loved it for what it was. Before Zelda became the cartoon. And don't think me wrong, I love Wind Waker. It was amazing. The freedom you had was amazing. And the idea with the ocean was incredible. But it was a kid's game. And Twilight Princess is everything but. very quick ending. Sorry that this video was so long. I guess I have to make a third video because I still haven't said everything I wanted to say. So I'll make it into 3 different subjects. So yeah, stay real.